everybody. I hope, as I said previously, this is finding you all well and happy and healthy as can be expected. So I'm going to do an hour Pilates class. It's kind of like the usual thing you might find Monday morning, just to give us all a little bit of a sense of normalcy. So in the chance that many of us may not have the props that we normally have in Studio 2, the most I might ask you to have is a towel. I had this set up for the previous little half-hour class I did for fundamental movements, and then I didn't use it. But we're definitely going to be using something like this today. So, and you can always maybe fold up a pillow in half or something if you don't have an old towel to fold up. So I've got this folded in half, and then I'm going to take a little tri-fold here, 1, 2, for the third there, and then we're going to give it a nice little roll, kind of tight, so something between that squishy ball and a block, neither here nor there, but hopefully something like this will work. I'm going to set it off to the side. We won't need it for a minute. So for those of you that aren't at the Valley, or maybe you're not even in Washington State, and you happen to be joining us, hi and welcome. Please feel free, if you're used to doing a certain movement a certain way, please do it that way. Say you do roll up in a particular manner and I'm doing it completely different. Just do it however you like to do it. Also, all of you, please feel free to modify as you'd like. I'm going to try and set this up so that not only modifications can be taken, but hopefully as a kind of a template that you're welcome to put things in as you feel you need that day. I think that's about it. If it hurts, don't do it. Please follow all those guidelines for regular class that you might take at a gym or anywhere else. And please feel free to send me questions if you have them. Know that I miss you guys, and I hope that we'll all be back to classes on a regular basis soon. So let's go ahead and get started. Normally, so the other thing, if you have a mat, that's great, maybe just on the carpet. Hopefully something that will give you a little bit of traction. I normally don't wear socks, but it's a little cool in this room, so that's why I've got a few layers going on right now. Let's get started with the roll down. I'm going to turn to the side so you can kind of have a sense of what I'm doing. So we'll just take this moment to find our feet, find those kind of four corners or center points. And we'll press into those feet, lift up through the hips. Maybe even with our exhale, we start finding those transverse abdominis, and maybe even we start finding that front to back mild compression. And so we get this sense of drawing in and lifting up through either end, tailbone to tip of the head, down into the heels. So we're lifting up through that crown to the top of the head there. Fingertips heavy, broad through the front and broad through the back as much as we can. Slight little bend in the knees if you want. We inhale and exhale, chin drops into the chest. Head starts drawing you forward. And as this happens, navel is drawing back, ribs are softening back towards the spine. Arms are hanging out of the socket. And we begin releasing that spine off its stack, one bone at a time. Continue to stay connected, make small adjustments as you need. Here, you're welcome to find that bend in the knees, especially if those hamstrings are tight or maybe you have issues with the low back. You can always take this roll down against a wall. Let's take one more exhale here. Just let that head hang heavy. Full inhale and exhale, navel back. We start uncurling the spine. Maybe a little press into the feet, lengthen down into the heels, slowly straightening the legs. As we uncurl, shoulders broaden, chin releases. And inhaling. And exhale. Finding that lift through the crown of the head. Trying to keep the same distance between the tailbone and the tip of the head as we come into this roll down, rather than collapsing through the chest, which sometimes happen. Making sure those arms are just hanging from the sockets, palms gently facing one another.
We'll inhale. With our exhale, if you want, go ahead and just let yourself hang forward. Let your belly button just flop away from the spine, head, neck, shoulders, give them a nice little dangle. With our next inhale, let that navel draw towards the back of the spine. Let the breath go into the side lungs in the back. And with that exhale, draw your navel back deeper. Light press into the feet, lengthening down into the heels, feeling that connection there. As we start lengthening away from the feet, from the legs, lifting up through the tip of the head. Beautiful. And everybody's least favorite, arms back and in, because again, I don't know what props you may or may not have. So just a little bit of arm work. I won't have you do it 50 times like I normally do. So a little bit of bend, a little bit more bend in the knees, just so that they don't go out past the toes. And we'll take the palms to face the front of the room, and inside of those elbows or eyes of the elbows facing forward. Nice little weight in those fingertips. Again, broad through the front and then broad through the back. With our exhale, reaching the arms back, but only so far that you can keep yourself open through the front of the shoulders. We inhale, little release, exhale, and inhale, release. With that exhale, navel draws back, sides draw in, so we keep that length growing between the tailbone, tip of the head. Inhale, little release, exhale, draw back up. Inhale and exhale. Keeping the arms by the sides of the body, letting your ribs feel heavy, just kind of floating and weighting down towards the spine. And 2 more times, inhale, exhale, draw back, inhale, exhale, draw back. We're gonna inhale, stay here in tiny pulses for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and here, maintain that reach again. Ribs heavy, navel draws back, and we're gonna draw the palms to face one another and press in and release, and in and release. Exhale and inhale. Keeping the back broad as the chest stays broad. Keep the fingertips heavy and navel drawing back, sides drawing in with that exhale. Last time here, pressing in and tiny pulses. 2, 5, 6, 2, 2. And here, feet can remain hip distance. Let the hips float back. Weight starts drawing into the heels a little bit more than the balls of the feet. And those arms just lift up as if clouds are floating up underneath them. Inhale here. With our exhale, sink into the heels. Start drawing the navel back as you draw the hips forward to come up into that standing position. And we inhale. Knees right out over toes, heels in alignment with the hips. Inhaling here, and exhale, navel back. Press into those heels, navel draws back, sides draw in, lift up through the crown of the head. And last time, inhaling. With your exhale, let your navel draw back, tailbone anchors behind you. And inhaling, exhale, arms release down, navel draws back, sides draw in, and lifting up. Nice. So moving into a little bit of footwork, know that if you have your TheraBand, you have blocks, find those different options that you might want to take. We're just going to do this kind of basic today. So arms down by the sides of the body, sinking into that right leg and drawing, just kidding, whatever your leg is. I'm used to teaching this way. Draw one of your legs up. And fingertips heavy. Again, chest and back broad. We're just going to inhale, light bend in that standing leg. Exhale, connect into the sole of that foot, press through and re-straighten. Inhale and exhale. The more we can connect with that sole of the foot, we can hopefully find that activation not only through those calf muscles, but through the thigh muscles to keep that ankle joint, hip joint, knee joint safe.
This next round, if you'd like, we can bend both legs. Exhale, we straighten both legs. Inhale, both legs bend. Exhale, navel draws back as your heel lengthens away from you. Inhale, we want to think about keeping those hips squared. Stay lifted through that standing leg. And one more time here, if you'd like to move into the next phase, keeping that leg out in front. Keep your inhale coming, keep the exhale, sides drawing in. And two more times. Inhale, keep that awareness of the bottom of the foot into the ground. Last time, I think. Let's draw the leg in and set that down. If you need to take a little shake out, take that. And shifting into that other leg again, take a moment for your setup into that foot. And nice alignment with leg and hip. And drawing opposite leg up. Arms down. Of course, if you have weights, maybe you draw the arms up. If you'd like, exhale, draw down. This is just an option if you want to start finding some arm work. I'm just going to keep my arms down by the side. My brain moves kind of slow, so this is all I can do to really focus on this leg and my hips, which have a little bit of disparity, so I need to kind of spend a little bit more brain power focusing on trying to keep that equal. Last time here, if you would like, both legs bent, and then both legs straighten. Inhaling. With that exhale, we're still thinking of this trunk drawing in, and we find this zipping and lengthening from tailbone to tip of the head. And lost connection there a little bit. Last time, I think we were supposed to be doing 5 of each. God knows I can't count. Inhale, if you can, keep the leg out. Inhale and exhale. Again, as I mentioned, breathing patterns, and that kind of confuses you or throws you off. Simply breathe. Eventually it may kick in. I think this is 5, maybe it's 6. You're also noticing I don't have any music. I want you guys to be able to play music as you like. Give yourself a little shake out. And we will turn to draw ourselves up a little bit more towards the front of the mat. I'm starting to get warmed up in here, so I'm going to take that off. We'll take a down roll, lifting up through the crown of the head, finding those feet, little micro bends. We can find that navel and back, drawing in. Inhaling, we exhale, chin into the chest, letting the head, neck, shoulder unit draw you forward, nice and slow, finding those feet. We'll plant the hands and begin walking those feet back. Let's go ahead and come into a nice little up stretch for a moment. We can inhale. If you want, we'll pedal those legs out. Exhale, drop that right heel back, bend that left knee. Inhale and exhale. Just one more time. Go ahead and open up through those calves, through the feet. If you can, take a moment. Try and sink both heels down and back. Again, finding that length through the spine. And let's exhale, softening both knees in. We're going to find that quadruped for just a moment here. Go ahead and spread the fingers through the hands. And we're going to inhale and just let yourself slump through your shoulders and let the front of the trunk of the body just drop and hang heavy towards your mat. With our exhale, press in. Find those shoulder blades connecting with the rib cage and front of the body drawing away from the mat. We'll do that one more time. Just inhaling, letting everything kind of hang forward. Exhale, and drawing back. Getting ourselves ready for moving into plank. So we'll lengthen that right leg back. Try and find that straight line from the heel out to the tip of the head. Nothing moves. Finding that left leg drawing back.
So you're welcome to just remain here. Obviously take any modification of plank that you would like. Option here, we're still pressing into the palms and trying to draw that front of the body away from the mat. Something that helps me get into my plank a little bit deeper is I'm going to take a little bit more connection into the palms. I'm going to find that serratus anterior, my lats, hopefully, and just kind of reach out through the tip of my head as if I'm a turtle, kind of reaching out of my shell. Then with my exhale, I'm going to draw into the balls of my feet and draw my tailbone back towards my heels. Inhale, drawing myself forward, resisting a little bit with my feet. Exhale, drawing back, resisting a little bit with my upper body. Inhale, just a very kind of gentle tug of war. And inhale, come back through center. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Float those knees down. And touch down. Uncurl your toes, lengthen out through the tip of the head, and we start bending those elbows to release the front of the body into the mat. Find those hands under the forehead. I always like to create a little bit of space between my hips and my legs. Just an inhale here to feel the breath moving out to the side lungs. With our exhale, let your pubic bone sink into the mat. Navel floats back towards the spine, upper head, neck, shoulders, heavy and sinking down into the ground. Inhaling, no movement. And exhale, lengthen through the tip of the head, lengthen through the toes, and draw those legs up. Keeping any work out of that low back. So we're going to take a little internal rotation here, very slight, and the intention is to hopefully you feel a little bit of opening across the back here. So just trying to almost imagine you're drawing your knees gently in towards one another. Keep that openness across the back and then find the legs parallel. With our exhale, draw and squeeze the legs in together. Inhale and release. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, open. And 5. Keep relaxing upper head, neck, and shoulders. 7, keep sinking your pubic bone. 9, and 10. Here, I want you to keep that openness across the back of the hips. Light external rotation. You're still trying to stay open here, even as you take the knees out away from one another, just slightly. And we exhale, draw in. Inhale, open. 4, 5, keep relaxing, upper head, neck, shoulders, keep sinking pubic bone, keep drawing that navel back and up towards the spine. I think that was 10, let's go for it, little pulses, and draw the legs together, release them down. Draw the knees to face the mat. Light, gentle lift of the knees towards the ceiling. A little bit of a gentle squeeze, drawing the legs together. Pubic bone sinks. Just going to float the head lightly away from the mat. Chest lightly lifted. Arms draw down by the sides of the body. Reach the fingertips towards the heels. Just a basic back extension. Let's then exhale. Lengthen, head away from shoulders. Nose taps down. Inhale. And reaching up. Exhale, lengthen down. Inhale, keep that pubic bone connected, navel drawing back. And last time, find that length, find that activation. Exhale, lengthen down, palms come in, and we press up, coming back into that all fours position. Once again, prepping to come into that plank. Again, you're welcome to find any modification, any version here. After we just did that work, I'd like to work into leg pull front. So we uncurl the right toes. As we draw the leg up, our navel really draws strongly back, and then lengthen through those toes. Inhale, tap down. Exhale, draw up. Keep finding yourself growing longer if you can through the tip of the head. Each exhale. I think that was 5. Uncurl the left toes. Keeping those hips squared and keeping the whole of the front of the body floating away from the mat. I think that was 5. Let's go ahead and exhale. Take the navel back, float the hips up, drawing into upstretch. If you need to walk the feet forward a little bit, go ahead and do so. Finding this just light, gentle inversion here. Taking a few breaths, pedal out the legs if you'd like. And then taking a few steps forward and reaching hips into the heels. Take a moment for just a little bit of a squat. Lengthen those ankles out just a touch more. Letting that low back lengthen out. And hands slide behind the hips. Set that bum down, lengthen the legs away from you. So I know we're doing a lot before we're even getting to some of the fundamental movements, but I love those fundamental movements so much. I'd like to think that we're opening our body and strengthening for those fundamental movements. So we're gonna do back support. Generally, fingers stay pointed towards the heels and drawing them back behind the hips, but the hands are shoulder distance. I need to open my fingers out towards the sides of my mat. Just have a little bit of wrist issues, but you're also welcome to take a fist. So here we're just going to let ourselves sink back. It feels really good. Then I want you to press into the palms. Start gliding those shoulder blades down and back, and then pop those ribs. Everything we're told not to do. Let your head fall back. And then we exhale, sink those shoulders up towards the ears and slouch away. Yep. And then press into the palms. And then pop those ribs, open that chest, maybe even draw your shoulder blades together. Let that chin fly up if it feels good. And then draw back through center. So we'd like to find a nice activated position somewhere right in between those two extremes. So we still have this press through the palms, shoulder blades gliding down and back, but they're not coming in towards one another. So keep that back broad. Ribs stay heavy, and we find that length, that drawing in between tailbone and tip of the head. Inhaling, no movement. You're welcome to do this with bent legs. Exhale, just draw those hips up. And feel that openness through the chest. Let those ribs soften back down. Keep pressing through the palms. Inhale. We just float and tap. Exhale. Drawing back up. Inhale. Always remembering that principle, or trying to think of that principle of efficiency, working towards that sense of effortlessness. Keep pressing in. Exhale, hinging up. Inhale, keep that little bit of squeeze between the legs. And exhale, we've got done all that nice work with those hip extensors. And inhale, release all the way down. Woo! So we're just gonna flex our feet and open up our fingers. Point, light little fist. Just taking a moment to open up those wrists. They've just worked kind of hard, at least mine have. And then we're going to take light little circles, curling. So as I curl my left hand, I'm curling my left foot in, curling my right foot and right hand, multitasking a little bit. And then we're going to take that opposite roll. A little bit of a challenge. You're always welcome to do hands and then feet. So just do as you need. Let those arms drop down. Bending the legs, we're going to scooch our hips forward just a touch. Hands behind the hips. Exhaling, dropping, melting that tailbone. Low back, middle spine, and then upper spine. Hopefully you feel nice and open through the chest here. Ideally, those shoulder blades are just dropping back like flower petals. And I'd like you to just Find a little bit of length for your fingertips towards the heels, a little bit of external rotation, and then simply draw the palm in towards the mat. And then we can do that with the upper arm. Moving into that pelvic curl, inhaling, no movement with our exhale. Make sure you feel those feet. Navel draws back, low back sinks into the mat. We aim that tailbone up towards the knees and draw up. We're trying to shoot for that straight line between shoulder to knee. Inhale, no movement. And exhale, dropping back in just as we came up. Tailbone is the last to come down. Inhaling and exhaling. Peeling up one bone at a time. Continue to draw the navel back even as we lift up all the way to the shoulders. Inhale, no movement. And taking time for those little adjustments as you need. Through the feet, through the hips. Making sure those feet are hip distance. Shoulders heavy, back of the neck long, throat soft. Here you're welcome to continue with that pelvic curl, or we can start shifting the weight into the left leg, and we draw that right leg up, giving it a nice little flex. Make sure you're into the whole of your left foot here, 4 corners, center line. We exhale, draw the heel up, navel draws back. Little inhale, release. Just 5 here, so 4, 5. We'll inhale, take a 90-degree bend, and tap down. With our exhale, navel draws back and knee draws up for shoulder bridge prep. Keep connecting in with that left foot, making sure you're still on target, still staying connected. And just 5 here. Set that right foot down. Take a moment and then slowly start shifting in to that other side. Reach that heel up and exhale. Try and keep those hips squared. Navel draws back as your footprint tries to touch the ceiling. This is my weak side. If you have a weak side and you know it, feel free to start with that side first. Maybe you only get 4 repetitions in. Inhale, bend the leg, and tap down. Exhale, navel back. Hopefully we're completely relaxed as much as possible through upper head, neck, and shoulders. Are we definitely working through our hamstrings, glute, staying connected with that right foot. Find that engagement before the leg moves back. Set that left foot down. And we draw fingertips up towards the ceiling. Shoulders sink back. And then we exhale, let the ribs sink back towards the chest. And then anchor your shoulders and mentally float your hips towards your knees. So just getting that internal sense of space. Still connecting with both feet. Inhaling, we're going to exhale. Keep the arms there. And slowly draw down, one bone at a time. From here, giving yourself a nice clasp, moving into chest lift. Hands behind the back of the head. Inhaling, and this is a place that if you'd like, also with pelvic curl, you're welcome to set something between the knees if you do have a block or anything else to keep that alignment with hips, knees, and heels. So again, maybe find an inch or 2 here, let those shoulders draw down and back. Inhale, find that engagement with that little initial exhale, and continue drawing all the way up. Inhale, no movement. And exhale. Lengthening head, neck, and shoulders away from hips. Inhaling and exhale. Find that engagement, drawing yourself up. Inhale and exhale. You're welcome to continue that a few more times, or just a little bit of a variation here. Inhale, no movement. And exhaling, navel back, drawing up. We'll inhale, no movement, and with our exhale, reach the fingertips out past the shins. Keep the lift through the head, neck, and shoulders as we inhale and draw the fingertips up towards the ceiling. With our exhale, letting arms draw by either side of the ears. And then inhale and exhale. Maybe draw yourself up a little bit higher. Keep that lift, keep the shoulders drawing down and back. Inhale, draw the shoulder bone into the shoulder socket, reach out through those fingertips. Exhale. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, maybe reach up just even a little bit higher. Keep that neutral pelvis. Inhale, draw the hands behind the back of the head, and exhale. Lengthen head, neck, and shoulders back. Moving into chest lift with rotation. Inhale and exhale. We inhale, no movement, and with the exhale, rotate over to the left. Remembering to stabilize hips and legs. Inhale as we mentally rotate through the waist, keeping same distance between shoulders and hips. Inhale, draw up through center if you can. Exhale, sink the hips, rotate. Here we're going to inhale and then exhale, rotate, lengthening out our right arm. Keep that shoulder in the socket. And I want you to imagine there's a button and you just want to exhale and push it. This is a tiny movement. Keep chin somewhat in alignment with your breastbone so you're not rotating your head, but rather rotating through the waist. Rotating only as much as you can keep those hips stable. Just pushing that button. It's a tiny movement to work a little bit deeper into those obliques. Inhale, drawing up through center. Exhale, rotate, lengthen out that arm. Inhale, sink the hips. Exhale, push the button. Support the head with that right hand. Again, trying to find chin somewhat in line with your breastbone, keeping that same space so that we're rotating rather than laterally flexing. Making sure hips and legs are just heavy. They're just sinking and stabilizing. I don't know where we are. Let's call this the last one. Inhale, draw up through center. Exhale, lengthen head, neck, and shoulders back. And take those arms out to the sides, palms facing up. Upper body now stabilizing, sinking into the mat. Try and find that sense of weightedness across the ribs. We draw right leg into tabletop, knee over hip, shin is parallel, and draw the left leg up to meet it. Here we want to find that glue. Zip those legs up, knees together, and keep them right across from one another. As we inhale, drawing legs over to the right, keep that weightedness, so we try and keep that arch out of the spine. Exhale, draw the legs back through center. Inhale, drawing over to the side, and exhale, drawing back through center. I want you to imagine that the back of your body has ink on it, and every time we draw our legs over, we get a fresh sheet of paper, and as we exhale, I want you to imagine you're inking the whole of that paper as you exhale and draw those legs back through center. So we get this complete ink blot. You're welcome to take the legs straight as an option here. Keep those knees together, or any other option you might like. Maybe you have feet on the ground. Last time, each side. And sometimes you might see me and I'm not doing it well. Just listen to what I say. I may not always be the best example. We're going to take that right leg, take it back into tabletop, left leg back into tabletop, whichever version you were doing. From here, we're going to draw those arms. Actually, we'll draw them up towards the ceiling for just a second. Once again, I want you to sink those shoulders back. From here, as we exhale, keep those shoulders connected to the ground, ribs sinking back towards the spine. And here we can try and let our belly button sink a little bit. So again, we get that full ink blot of our back of the body. With our inhale, drawing the arms up, coming into 100 prep. Drawing head, neck, and shoulders up as one unit. Inhale, release, head, neck, and shoulders back. Just 3 here. just getting ourselves ready. Know that this is a nice option instead of hundreds if you'd like to take that. Last time here, I'd like to do a little bit of something called coordination, something we do on the reformer. Who misses their reformer? Me. And let's exhale. As we exhale and draw up, legs are going to lengthen out. We take a little open close, and then we inhale. Keep drawing up as those legs draw in. Get those lower abs. Continue that inhale and draw back. Maybe we can play here with where we want to have those legs with our hundreds. So maybe they're up a little bit higher. Inhale, draw in, draw in. Continue that inhale if you can. Take an extra exhale if you need to. And last time, tiny open close. Inhale and inhaling, releasing back. With our exhale, moving into hundreds. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't have my counter. I usually have this awesome guy. Hello, Rich, if you're watching, who counts for me. I'm going to shut up now and count. 4, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 5. Exhale, 2. All right, so just let your thighs drop into the chest. So ordinarily I'd be giving random cues, making sure that your navel keeps dropping back deeper, but you already knew that. Let your spine sink into the mat. Give yourself a little rock and roll, side to side. Give a light little cross on the legs. Just let the arms release gently away from the sides of the body and just kind of lull your head back and forth. Just releasing any tension through the head or neck that might have crept in during that exercise. And setting the right foot down, left foot down. I'm going to make sure I have enough room here. And lengthening the legs away. We're going to be moving into roll up. So with this exercise, modifications, you can set a towel. You can see I've got quite a bit of space under my low back. I'm going to try and squeeze it out, dropping my ribs down and my belly button back. You can also take a slight bend in the legs to draw you up. Again, lots of versions on all of these exercises. Please take the ones that work best for you. We'll all take a little bit of squeeze between the legs, and we'll draw those arms overhead. Make sure those shoulders are down and back. And shoulder blades sinking into the mat, palms facing one another. We inhale, drawing head, neck, and shoulders up. Let's see if I can make it. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Shoulders stop as they reach over the hips, but all of this is reaching back. Tendency is to lengthen out, and I want you to draw those shoulder blades back, but still lengthen out through the fingertips. Inhale, and we exhale. Keep those arms parallel to the mat, spine connects, and release head, neck, and shoulders back. Inhaling, exhaling, exhaling. Inhale and exhale, curl that tailbone under. So really find that opening through the low back. It should feel great. Keep those legs squeezing together, spine connects, head, neck, and shoulders release back. Inhale, keep those shoulders down, reach away from you, out past your toes, drawing yourself up. Inhale, let's come up to a seated position. And we're gonna move right into saw. I'd love to do every single thing and have a 3-hour class, but time is ticking. So if you need, get a little bit of support underneath your hips. You want to have that nice straight spine. So if you're finding yourself a little bit dumped back, get something underneath. If you're finding yourself arched, just simply draw the navel back. Sink your sits bones, sink your leg bones, sink your heels, toes reach up.
and arms reach out to the side. Really try and touch the sides of the walls here. We'll inhale, rotate to the left. With our exhale, I'm going to take the outside of the right hand, reach it to the outside of the left leg. I'm going to try and reach my breastbone and face over the right leg, left leg, just kidding. I want to keep my hips squared. I want to just kind of gently reach this arm back and gently reach this arm forward. We are going to stay here for another breath because it feels good. Find that sense of effortlessness. Let the body open. With our next inhale, lengthen out through the tip of the head to draw yourself back up to a straight position. Exhale, draw yourself back through center. Inhale, rotating, keep those hips squared. And exhale, reaching forward. Tendency can be to, just as you saw, I was shifting over onto this same hip that I'm running over to or reaching over to. So make sure that you've got equal weightedness through your sits bones. Maybe just a little bit of reach through the fingertips. And keeping the leg bones, backs of the legs sinking. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, draw through center. 2 more times through, 1 breath each movement. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, draw back through center. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of the head, sink those sits bones, draw back through center. 1 more time, keep those sits bones equally weighted if you can. Inhale, draw up. Exhale, draw through center. Inhale, exhale. I want to dump into that hip, but try not to, and draw back through center. Beautiful. We're going to draw those feet up, knees bent, and just a little bit of prep work, hopefully moving into teaser prep, teaser 1, and a little bit of rolling. So you may need to adjust or shift. You may want to have something between the knees. Sometimes I like to have my heels and feet together and give myself a little squeeze. Find that as you need. I'd like to start so that we're up on those sits bones again, but not totally necessary. Arms, shoulders into socket, lengthening out through the fingertips. Inhaling, and with our exhale, drawing that navel back. Same thing as that roll up, heading back down. We're going to sink that tailbone into the mat. We're just going to come down to our shoulder blades. I want you to inhale, draw your navel back, and try and poof out the back of your body. As you draw up, keep the chest broad and the back broad so that we're not caving in. Yep. And exhaling. And inhaling. Just 2 more times, exhaling. Maybe you don't go down all the way. Last time. Really trying to articulate through the spine. Here we'll start drawing those legs in a little bit deeper. So rolling like a ball, we want to think of that tire. If a tire is deflated, we know what that rolls like. It doesn't. So think of that breath coming into your side lungs and your back as you inhale to roll back. So you inflate the tire of your spine and of the back body to find a nicer roll. If you can, hands down towards the feet, although of course you're always welcome to draw up here, but we want to still find that gliding down and back through the shoulder blades. And squeeze, a little bit of a squeeze in those legs. Gaze just kind of down towards the thighs or the knees. We inhale, maybe a little bit of tuck. And stop if you can as you exhale. Take that inhale though, fill up the back of the body, rolling just to the shoulders, and let's go ahead and draw up. We're going to find that teaser prep position.
So maybe you're just working to find that balance point, right, on the hips. I've got some extra cushioning, so it's a little bit easier for me. So maybe you're just working to find that balance point. And then maybe we find that balance point. We're going to take that same preparatory movement. If we can, we'll draw those arms out to the side. A little bit of a squeeze between. And then we're going to exhale. Curl that tailbone under, just to the shoulder blades. Inhale, draw yourself back up. Try not to overly arch like I just did. Usually everybody's distracted with their own thing. So a little bit scary to make a video thing. That's okay. And now we're going to try and take a teaser one if we can. We'll draw the arms up and we release back, release the arms back with the exhale. Inhale, draw up. Use that roll up movement to come up and exhale. Tuck, tuck, tuck if you can. Release those shoulders down. Keep your navel tied back. And draw up. Draw up. And take soles of the feet together, knees out to the side. Give yourself a well-deserved little bound angle stretch. And you're always welcome to have heels as close to the hips or farther away as you like. Let your head hang heavy. Let your spine round. And we start drawing the navel back, restacking the spine, knees together. We're going to grab that towel. And again, half fold, tri-fold, and then a nice tight little roll, our little block / squishy ball. Moving into a little bit of scissors and bicycle, yay. So we'll curl those hips up as if we're doing a pelvic curl, and then we're gonna slide that squishy block underneath the hips, underneath the tailbone. So modified scissors and modified bicycle, right? Normally we would have hands supporting underneath the hips, a little bit of arch in the spine. So hopefully something like that with what we have here. Arms down gently, a little bit away from the sides of the body. Drawing the right leg up, drawing the left leg up. Let's just take a moment and feel the leg bones dropping into the hip sockets, but then feel yourself lengthening through your toes. With our exhale, I want you to draw that right leg towards you. 2 pulses, 2 exhales. That left leg only goes away as far as the right leg can come towards you. So scissor shape or martini glass shape. Inhale, draw through center. Exhale, exhale. And drawing that opposite leg. Create space with that exhale. Use that to tractor beam that leg closer to you each time. Inhale, draw through center. Inhale, feel the leg bones sink, but reach out through those toes. Last time. And I accidentally was pulsing my other leg. So here we're going to exhale. I'm going to kind of reverse the breathing. We'll inhale, hold. We're going to do reverse bicycle first. So I want to inhale, find that 90-degree bend. Exhale to draw this leg towards you as you lengthen that leg away. Inhale, exhale. Reverse bicycle. Really use that exhale as you draw one leg towards you and lengthen the other away. We want to keep thinking about both hips. I don't know what I just did. I lost my, as I'm trying to explain something, I totally forget what I'm doing. I want you to keep thinking about those hips staying squared and reaching both away from you so that we don't get that movement or shearing through the hips. Last time there. So we have the right leg drawn towards us, other leg oppositely drawn away. we're gonna let that left leg bend with our inhale. With our exhale, draw that knee back towards you, lengthen the opposite leg away. Inhale and exhale. Again, opposite breathing. You're welcome to do the breathing and or the movement. Hopefully a little bit of opening through that hip flexor. Keep that movement as equal as possible. I'm not really watching, so I'm just hoping in my mind's eye that I'm somewhat equal. All right, we're gonna set that right foot down, set the left foot down, and then you may wish to scoot your hips a little bit more towards your tailbone. So I want you to see about lengthening one leg away, lengthening the other leg away. So reach your heels in one direction, sink your shoulder blades, and just gently reach the fingertips in the opposite. Just giving yourself a nice little stretch here. And let the back of the body kind of melt into that towel. Let the front of the body be heavy and melt into the back. And drawing right leg up, drawing left leg up. A little bit of a peel up through that tailbone, enough to take your squishy block out of the way. And then drawing onto our sides for a little bit of side work. This is a nice place I forgot to mention. Hand towel or two, which I readily have many available here, but maybe you can just use your towel, unfold it a few times and use that. We're going to lengthen out our underside arm, palm facing up, and then you can take that support and set that between the head and the arm. We'd like to find a little bit of a banana shape. Some of you may be able to have that straight line. Otherwise, please consider taking the feet a little bit in front of the hips so that you can see them, making sure that top hip is stacked. For some of you, this might be uncomfortable. You may need to take a little bit of that towel and set it underneath your hips as support. Either arm lengthened or find a little bit of a kickstand. We'll inhale, and as we exhale, start taking the navel back. Start drawing the sides in and let those legs draw up. We inhale, float down. Exhale, draw up. Inhale and exhale. Trying to keep head, neck, and shoulders as relaxed as possible, and finding the work in through that trunk to stabilize and find the strength to lift those legs up. And just one more time. Because here we're going to go into a little bit of scissors. So we've done a lot of hip extensor work. We've done that bicycle. I want you to draw bottom leg forward, top leg back. Inhale, draw through center. This is not a big movement, especially that bottom leg, right? And then inhale, draw through. Exhale, inhale. Challenge to keep those hips squared. And here we're going to take that bottom leg forward and we're going to exhale, lift, inhale, float down. I want you to really find that engagement prior to the activity. Maybe use that kickstand here. I know I need to. And draw legs through center, and then find that little bit of extension, but lengthen your tailbone out between your heels. Lift, inhale, release down. Woo, working that little bit deeper into that top. Keep reaching out through the toes, reach out through the tip of the head. Last time. And let's draw those legs in. Just catch a little bit of clam. Feet can either be floating or into the mat, but I'd like to have those heels in alignment with your tailbone. So here we really have a chance to focus in. And we exhale. I want you to keep those hips stacked. Inhale, float them down. And exhale, find that bum working. Inhale, float down. Find that little bit of engagement through the trunk of the body. Keep working those abdominals, even though we might not feel like we necessarily need to. And just 3, 2, and 1. We're going to set that top knee behind the bottom one. Let the knee sink. Let it kind of reach out towards the heels. Nice little stretch there. And some of you may even want to take a gentle little twist if you so desire. Maybe even taking the head down, making sure spine is long. And then we draw top on top of bottom, press up, and then draw legs up and over. We should take a little stretch. I think I'm running over time, but it'll be okay. Little Z sit position or cross-legged position, doesn't matter. Let those sits bones sink, navel draws back, lift up through the crown of the head, support with this arm, lifting up with the other, and give yourself a nice reach over. Tendency is to let those ribs flare. You can either let nose drop down towards the mat, straight ahead, maybe up. You can also find a little bit of reach over that way. Or bend the arm, right? That's a nice option for head, neck, shoulders. Let's reach up and grab whatever you might have had in between. And let's lengthen down into the other side. Lengthen that bottom arm out, palm facing up, towel or two, or whatever you would like in between. And maybe look down, see the feet, point through the toes, possibly use that kickstand. We inhale. With that exhale, find that stability first, then draw legs up. Inhale, floating down. Exhale, drawing up. So we keep trying to find this length, this zipping through the body. Finding that tailbone, lengthen it down between the heels. Try and keep those hips stacked. Maybe you've got a yoga buddy or your kids are driving you crazy. Make them pay attention to you and keep your body in good alignment. Always using that kickstand if you need. And last time, as we move into those scissors, bottom leg just slightly forward, top leg slightly back, right? Then we draw through center and exhale. Inhale, draw through center, exhale. Maybe you've got like a foot and a half that occurs between the legs, trying to find that little bit of engagement through those glutes. Think of those hips absolutely stable. Little bit of movement, right? We're lengthening them away. Find those ribs heavy towards the spine. And we exhale and lift as that bottom leg is slightly forward, top leg is slightly back. Maybe you might be feeling that underside oblique a little bit more. Maybe you're just feeling your inner leg muscle on that bottom leg. And let's switch, draw that top leg and bottom leg separately. Trying to keep relaxed through the upper head, neck, shoulders as much as you can. Especially on this one, try and reach that tailbone away. Again, not a lot of space between the legs. Whew. And let's draw those legs in. Knees together, heels together, and heels in alignment with the spine. Exhale, draw that knee up. Inhale, release it down. Keeping hips stacked, core engaged. Just feeling that nice drawing in and opening out of that femur bone in the hip socket. Making sure this is getting that nice little bit of activation through there. Almost ready, almost getting close towards 2 and 1. Setting that leg down, knee behind the bottom one. Giving yourself that nice weight in the leg, but then also this length through reaching that hip out. And some of you may wish to take that little bit of twist if that feels good for you. And draw top leg over, pressing up. And swinging up and over. I'm going to set that there. So Z position, or again, cross leg, whatever's going to be most comfortable. Use support through that arm, lifting this arm up. And find sits bone sinking, navel back, and taking that nice reach. Again, feel free to have this arm bent. Take the gaze where it's comfortable. And option to take a little press or support. And let's inhale, drawing up. Set that leg up on top. Give it another swivel around. We're going to come onto the belly for back extension work. A little bit more. So again, I like to kind of have that space between hips and upper body. Just taking a few of those basic back extensions, arms pressing into the sides, fingertips reaching down, navel back, pubic bones sinking in. And we inhale, find that little bit of engagement. Exhale, lengthen the spine and tap the nose down. Inhale, floating, finding that upper spine, middle spine engagement. Exhale. And last time, reaching out through the tip of the head, keeping head in alignment. We're going to take those hands underneath, finding those elbows somewhat right underneath the shoulders. We can clasp the hands, and you can set that bottom pinky to the inside. So you've got a seamless little transition between elbows, forearms, and hands. And let's go ahead and just take our slump in. And then I want you to draw the shoulder blades together and maybe try and lift up and back. Not comfortable. Slump in. This time we're going to draw the navel back. Draw the ribs back. Press into the elbows, press into the forearms, light press into the hands. And then keeping back broad, keeping the chest broad, draw the elbows towards your hips. Then we're going to draw the legs up, moving into single leg. So we exhale, 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 inhale, 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 exhale, exhale. So ideally, we're not having any movement through the upper body. It's just those legs pulsing. Inhale, inhale. Keep drawing your pubic bone up towards your breastbone. Keep drawing your breastbone up through the shoulders. Keep pressing down into the elbows. Last time. And lengthen the legs down. And release and lengthen the body away from the hips. Drawing back in for that basic back extension. We inhale, drawing up. With our exhale, keep that navel drawing back. Lengthen the tailbone out towards the heels. Draw the arms overhead and draw the legs up, moving into swimming. So we release right arm down, left leg down. And then we alternate left arm, right leg. So we can move slowly. You're welcome to support and then switch. Or you can start moving in a paced manner. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4. And keep dropping that pubic bone down. Keep the head in alignment with the spine. You're welcome to go a little bit faster. Inhale, 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, and 2, 4. And release down. Hands by the shoulders. We draw back into rest position. Knees either together or slightly apart. Again, I like to press into the hands, sink your hips back. Reach the chest away from the hips, and then release forward onto the thighs. Forehead melts into the mat. into rest or child's position. Feet remain together. And observe breath and body. With your next inhale, drawing up onto all fours, maybe walk the hands just a touch away. Maybe feet slightly separated. We exhale, drawing into upstretch. Finding weight equally planted through the palms of the hands, balls of the feet. That belly button just floating back, also letting those ribs float back. So we have this length fully through the spine. And we begin walking the hands back towards the feet, starting to get that sense of sinking, lengthening connection into the balls, into the heels. If you want, maybe a slight bend in the legs. We'll take that next inhale and let the navel draw back. And let the breath come into the side lungs and the back. From here, take that navel back deeper with the exhale. And slowly uncurling. Shoulders broaden, chin releases from the chest, crown of the head floats upward. Thanks you guys so much. I hope you can also watch the little half-hour piece that I did that just goes over the fundamental movements that can be used kind of as a warm-up for this class or just as a precursor, but please combine this with yoga, combine this with some form of cardio to keep yourselves healthy and happy and moving. And just a quick moment of gratitude from me to all of you, and also to all the big Pilates giants whose shoulders we all get to stand on and benefit from their work. So thanks again, you guys. Hope to see you all very, very soon. Take care. And they're going to be turning the video off.